All right, so today we are looking at graphical vectors. So we're entering the realm of two-dimensional vectors, and things get a little bit more complicated. We're going to start off by actually drawing these to solve them. There's a couple different ways to do it. You can do it graphically or mathematically. But the graphical technique uses graph paper. It uses a protractor or a ruler, and we draw everything to scale. And so today we're going to kind of focus on just doing a scale drawing, just to make sure everybody's done a scale drawing before. And then maybe in the next video we'll get into actually solving vector problems using scale drawing. So we've got our piece of graph paper here. This graph paper is a 1/2 centimeter per box. And so, if you take protractor and you plop that down and you measure the length of one box there, you're going to get a 1/2 centimeter. So 2 boxes is a full centimeter. Your protractor and the graph paper that I gave you basically are kind of specially designed to work with each other. So don't try to use other graph paper. It's of course doable, but I've kind of custom set these up so to, I don't know, kind of eliminate some of the possible rooms for error. So anyway, today I thought we would just sketch out a possible room. We can do like a dorm room, that sort of thing. And the way you do this is a scale drawing. Every line that goes on the scale drawing is representative of the size of the object in real life. So it actually represents the size even though it's shrank down. So that's kind of what we're going to look at. We need to make it fit on this graph paper. We're going to look at a dorm room. Let's say we'll do like a single. So let's say you're looking at getting a single dorm room. First thing to do is to kind of decide or measure the size of the thing in real life. So if you're thinking about like a single dorm room, it's probably going to be pretty small, but let's say, we'll just come up with some numbers. Let's say that it's going to be 10 by 12, and that's going to be in feet, which is probably a typical generous size single. So what we have to do then is say, okay, we got to shrink this down. This is not going to fit on our little piece of graph paper, 10 feet by 12 feet. So what we're going to do is let each box represent a measurement in real life. And so in this case, I've kind of set it up nicely. What we're going to do is we're going to say on this graph paper that one box equals 1 foot in real life. So in the grand scale of things, this is the way they do blueprint drawings and all of that. So there's a lot of practical application to these kinds of things. And so we can draw this out on here. We're going to do a 10 by 12 foot representation on here, which means we're going to need 10 boxes by 12 boxes. So we're looking at kind of a square area. Now, just to get in the habit, we have to make sure that everything we draw on here is perfectly straight. And so that's where the protractor comes in. Never freehand any of these lines, especially once we get to actually solving out the two-dimensional vectors this way. Everything has to be nice and crisp, completely straight lines, all that sort of thing. So be very careful. Also, you see me, I'm using a marker just so it shows up. You'll want to use a very sharp pencil. Nice thin lines, erasable is also a big benefit. But as I'm doing it so that you guys can see it. So I'm using this this kind of bold marker. So I'm going to sketch these in. And so there's my 10. And then I'm going to go 12 in the other direction. Again, making sure these are nice and straight and they meet up perfectly. I'm following the line since I'm able to. And now I can kind of box these in and get our dorm room. Right. All right, got it. So there is the dorm room. That is now representative of 10 feet by 12 feet. We can now kind of put stuff in there. So let's do a bed, a twin size bed that's in a dorm room. I'm going to estimate is about 3 feet wide and maybe by about 7 feet. So I need a 7 by 3 foot bed to put in here somewhere. I'm going to tuck mine back in the corner here maybe. Something like this.
Take the showtime. Can you come to the office, please? Thank you.
There we go. There's bed. Probably need a desk, right? Desk, I'm going to say is maybe like 2 feet by 4 feet. So I'm going to put desk maybe over here. Again, everything drawn with a straight edge, just for good practice. We'll label this desk. We got it. And you can start to see the way this room's going to set up. This is actually the way the room's going to look once you put real furniture in there. This is the space that you're looking at in terms of what the room's going to look like. So maybe do like a couple little hash marks here. A door is probably closer to 30 inches. I'm going to make it 3 feet. So just to make it nice and easy. There's going to be our entry point as we come in. Maybe you want like a little nightstand. I'll do that like 2 feet by 2 feet, right up against the bed. There we go. I'll label that nightstand. And then you could use this if you had questions about like what you think could fit into the dorm room. You could also make all of these mobile. So in other words, we could have outlined this and then came down here, drew our bed, nightstand, desk, all of that, and then picked them up and plopped them down in the room. And then that way they were actually mobile. So maybe you get to this point and you're wondering if you got enough room for a futon. And you get the dimensions of the futon and you do exactly what I said, is you cut out the dimensions. So I did 3 by 6, thinking that would be an okay size futon. And then what you can do is say, okay, well, is the futon going to fit in my room? And you can actually kind of start to slide it, looking like that's going to be a pretty tight fit if we try to plug a futon in right there. Maybe if we set it up over here, maybe we could squeeze it in there. I'm not sure that the door is going to open, so I don't think that's going to work. Maybe you'd have some weird scenario where you'd put the futon like right in the middle, but overall it kind of looks like the futon's probably oversized and not going to fit. So that would save you a lot of room, or a lot of work carrying this thing up and then discovering that it didn't fit in your room, and then you got to carry the thing out and that sort of thing. But anyway, those are the steps that you need to draw something to scale. That's your first scale drawing, maybe. The next video, like I said, we're going to focus on how to solve two-dimensional vector problems using these skills.